people were very much traumatized after the elections because they felt that their preferred candidate did not make it to the presidential seat. This did not exonerate the religious leaders and opinion leaders who were very much in the forefront, encouraging the citizens and the communities to accept the verdict of the elections.
We were talking of the possible case scenarios that we would have. And when it was mentioned that maybe the ODM presidential candidate was not going to be the president, and so they had to prepare themselves and also prepare the community, it became so difficult for them to accept it, the so-called healers themselves.
Upon the realizations that the healers, who are actually the religious leaders, were very much in pain, Local Capacities for Peace decided to organize a forum to bring them together to discuss ways of overcoming the trauma and the pain that was related to the loss of the elections. And so the Healing of Healers project was birthed.
That coming together was a real healing process for the clergy. And when I talk of the clergy, I talk of the Christian community, I talk of the Muslims, I talk of the Hindu.
Actually, it was a very emotional time for them. They were very, very emotional, and looking at them, they were not bishops at that particular time. They were just human beings who are very vulnerable and have feelings.
This program has sought to create safe spaces where the healers could come together, share ideas, and interact with each other, irrespective of their different faiths, irrespective of their different denominations, and irrespective of their political party affiliations.
When we went to a workshop in one of the hotels around here with the Lcpi, we were there for 3 days. It was a healing program. I myself got healed from my fellows, and I very appreciated. Yeah. And I told my people that I'm very much grateful. I've now changed. It was true, not just me saying. I was really affected. But then I also got healed, so they could heal others.
The election results injured the healers, the bishops. They felt injured, they felt robbed of their victory. And what can they do? They cannot agitate violence. They still have to speak peace. So we had a meeting that brought us together, and that free expression of our feelings, with some expressing their feelings, shedding tears, we were to a certain extent relieved, many of us.
It is important for Local Capacities for Peace to have the healers well, so that even as they go out, they can pass that healing to their followers.
The person who played the role of healing others also need that healing process for himself. When we brought the healers together, that is the bishops, we saw a lot of emotions. And I saw many of the church leaders, because sometimes they don't want to expose that they are affected and that they are injured to the public. When you bring them together and share with them, then their emotion comes out very clearly.
Everyone needs healing. And when you take in a lot of issues from people, especially emotional issues from people in the society, you also need some safe space to vent. Because we are human beings. If you keep taking in, and you don't take out, then you will explode at some point.
When people see you as a bishop, they think you are the source and you can help them. When you continually help them, you also suffer burnout. Sometimes you suffer the burnout without you realizing that you are suffering a burnout. And maybe a technical person somewhere would read that you are really suffering from a burnout.
I went to the hospital to see a doctor, and they really carried out all the tests, and the doctors told me, you need to give your body a rest. That was their word, and they never prescribed any medicine for me. So I had to go and rest for a whole week. But it is difficult because people still need you, even in that rest.
My work, as far as my work is concerned, I have to contain myself, and then you see, if a doctor is much more sicker than the patient, then the work would be impossible. So I've got to be above them in terms of containing myself in going through such situations so that I can help them.
You find that even at 6 or at 7 p.m., people are still calling you. Bishop, where can we get you? Bishop, you talked with so-and-so. We need a forum. We are this group, we are dealing with ABCD. We also need a forum with you. Until now, you are overwhelmed. You don't even want to take your phone. You feel now you are even so much exhausted, and you find yourself inside the problem until you want somebody to get you outside the problem. So I think the local peace and initiative did a lot of work, and especially bringing the religious leaders just to open up and talk and talk. It helped us just to ease the burnout that was put together.
The first Sunday after that workshop, all of them in their churches were talking about healing of the healers.
In fact, local capacity made us become awake to the issue of peace. And we realized, no wonder, right from families there are no peace. And yet the so-called who have no peace at family level are key church leaders in our respective churches. So which means the church had taken peace for granted. But from then on, peace became an issue in all our pulpits of the Christian community, in all the pulpits of the Muslim community and the Hindu community. And we organized ourselves in such a way that for the first time we were able to go and preach a word in a Muslim mosque. The Muslim who never come to the pulpit of the Christians had the opportunity to come and proclaim the word of peace from our pulpits.
From our perspective, having been the organizers of that meeting, it was very revealing to us that really more needs to be done. Because many a times, the society depends on these leaders. And actually, in the conversations, many of the religious people were saying they can't really take their pain to the public because the communities depend on them. And so having no other mechanism or support system to vent or to let out their pain, they were compelled to keep everything inside. And that interfered with their effectiveness in terms of supporting the communities to find alternatives for their healing.
You see, truly speaking, my community is the most difficult community to handle. And in them, people of my category, to invite them into such programs is always very difficult. They always don't see what they are supposed to come on and do here. They don't see the sense. So I have been interacting with them, bringing them together, talking to them, and opening doors and windows for them so they can come out of that darkness. See, it is funny that somebody is in darkness, he doesn't realize he's in darkness. He thinks he's in light.
It is taken for granted that because they are healers, they have the right techniques, they have the right knowledge, they have the right discernment, that they need to heal themselves in order to be able to effectively heal the others. And so we believe that together with the other actors and especially with peace practitioners coming together, we can go a long way in providing the safe spaces, but also equipping them with the right skills knowing very well that if you impart skills to someone who is already hurt and hurting, that in itself will impede their effectiveness in the utilization of the skills and the knowledge that they gain.
Initially, before we were brought together, everybody else thought that he was able alone in her own church, in their own churches where they come from. But we realized when we were brought together, the relationship has been built and people have realized we need one another. And right now, as we speak, the society and the perception of Nyanza people has actually changed. And now we are able to accommodate anybody. We are able to address and identify our own issues. And even now, when our leaders pass, even in the former Baghdad areas, they identify, Bishop, hatutafanya kitu mbaya, weka kuja tu tuombe, mambo yetu tusuluhishe. And they share whatever they had. So it has been an opening for us.
During the election itself, when the results were being announced, all the international news media were pitched at Kondele, because it's always realized any problem in Kenya, be it Langata, be it Mombasa, will always first start from Kondele. And these men went disappointed with their big gadgets. And we thank God for that one, because the Kondele team remained peaceful. They listened to us, they heard the concern. It is their own county, their own government. They cannot be violent and destroy anything anymore.
Many people in the peace building field have never been consciously dealing with trauma. And yet, in the efforts that they are putting to help communities disengage from violence, they encounter a lot of stories that are traumatic in nature. They deal with victims whose lives are shattered. And so they take a piece of the shattered life with them as they go along. And as you talk to many peace practitioners, you realize that subconsciously they are traumatized and they carry these burdens with them. And many a times they don't even recognize it or appreciate it or realize it. And so more and more we have come to the realization that we need to be cognizant of the effects of our work on our lives as peace builders.
So we want to focus on this, strengthen it in this county, and then we can move out to other counties, have it as a model, so that when we go out, we can tell the others that we have tried this and it has worked. So you can also emulate.
You see, I've been with many people and many organizations, but I haven't seen the like of this Lcpi. It's difficult to find the people who are ready to serve at night, during daytime, anytime, whatever time it is. You ring them, they respond, and they are always on toes and ready to come out at any even at all time.
We have challenges, of course, finances are never enough. But if we got partners on board, especially we would strengthen this healing of the healers, because we have so many healers in the community, and we feel if the healers are healed, then the whole community will be healed, because thousands and thousands depend on these healers. So if we have sick healers, then we have a sick community. So if we can have partners to come on board so that we strengthen this, it would be a big plus for us and for the community.